And we are back to cast the other game right now, guys. With this was the game you all were requesting, saying the other game was too one-sided, so hopefully this one isn't. It has a pretty even start with 4 and 5. I have a lifestealer here infesting that famous dragon, probably the best creep you can get at this point in the game, and pretty even stuff so far, I believe. And yeah, looking to be. And there's attacker on a Phantom Lancer. Maybe not something we're too accustomed to seeing him on. And he gets glimpsed back, and he could be punished here, but oh, he dodges it. Very well played. Very well played by attacker. So the dragon's just walking around bullying people at this point. So far, decent farm. He rushed the Boots of Travel. And as his opposition, the Lifestealer went for the Armlet, of course. And he seems to be bullying with his dragon, but they seem to initiate real quick. And there's the Ravage, and this could be bad for the Dire side. Down goes the Disruptor. Exorcism used, and Orpheus, and they're turning it around with a crazy Chronosphere. Janoon could be in trouble here. Janoon looks to go down, and Janoon does go down, and that is a hugely in favor of K4. Brilliant, brilliant turnaround. I mean, maybe chat was right. Maybe this was the game to cast. But I'm glad I'm here now, and game is paused by Lifestealer. Total reborn things. So attacker looks to make it out of there. Yeah. So two of K4's players are trying to reconnect right now, and hopefully that won't be too long. So props to attacker on being a very short notice replacement, at least to our knowledge. And I'm sure, I don't know if he's a replacement only for this game or the upcoming games onwards in this tournament, but either way, we're very glad to have him. It's his first appearance on DSL. Other than that, I mean, the Death Prophet has decent farm. He'll be relatively happy with what he has so far. The Centaur Warrunner himself has pretty good farm. And he's not a hero you see too much, but he's very exciting hero, and I'm a big fan of Centaur whenever I do see him in game. They have Centaur and Tidehunter. So the initiation is really all with the bomb squad, but that counter initiation by K4 was brilliant. That Chronosphere was money. And they'll be very, very happy with the start of this game. I mean, they had a big lead and they sacrificed it, supposedly, but as you can see there, the dip was taken again, and they're building that lead again after that fight. And they're ready to go here, as long as the bomb squad are ready. So back to standard farming after attacker doing some damage there with his loot.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And Exorcism is expiring, and they are forced to pull back as a result. Attacker coming in to take the farm. He doesn't believe they're gonna try and... Oh, and Centaur catches Hamada! And Hamada goes down to attacker's lance. I think Centaur let him have that, which was pretty nice play. Giving his hard carry the farm he needs.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Pretty good stuff.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Attacker should push for this last hit. It's in deny range and he does get it.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
And yeah, looking pretty exciting, guys.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Nothing out of the ordinary. Circle being drawn around Roshan, just making sure the area is not warded. And stacking not be a thing over here, as they actually warded that jungle. KnownFor, not a team I am familiar with, however, as I mentioned earlier in the introduction to the cast, they do have Hamada, an ex-member of Bend Over, so they should be very, very strong team if they have someone like that with that level of experience with them. For those of you who have never seen a Hamada Witch Doctor, his Death Ward high ground defenses have saved Bend Over countless times in the past. If this is the same Hamada, and I'm pretty sure it is. So haste picked up by Disruptor here, being a little aggressive. I mean, I know you run fast, but one Centaur stun, you're still gonna die. And Mega playing a little careful. He does have a Chrono here, so if they do take a... But Ravage is also ready. So who blinks first? Who uses it? A glimpse back on Centaur, who misses the stun. Are they gonna bait out this Ravage? Void comes in and they silence the Tidehunter, and I don't think he's gonna pop the Ravage. He doesn't want to waste it at this point, and they have to try and retreat now. Salmano is caught with his Centaur. Oh, and the cone does a lot of damage, but Lich will go down, and Centaur will probably follow suit. I don't think there's any escaping here for him. And yes, he does go down. Attacker does pick up a kill on the way, and he's going for more. He's going for the Death Prophet here, and Attacker might get this. And he retreats, and he's still going for the Witch Doctor. He's a one-man army. He's taking on 2 or 3 of them. Well, do I need to mention the 8k MMR, or are we just gonna save that for now, boys? So really good fight for K4 actually, but at the end of the day, Bomb Squad did not expend their Ravage, and Attacker came in and got 2 kills. He's 6-1-2 right now, and look at that net worth. That's... They do glimpse him back, but again, he dodges it casually. The tower is denied though by the Lifestealer, so that's something. Tidehunter going for some stacks. Stacks here. And they still look to fight here with K4, and they hear that ulti, and they know something's coming in for them. The vision was there. Hamada goes down. So does Disruptor. Lifestealer has to make it out of there. Disruption doing a lot of damage, but that's all going to be healed up by the Dazzle, and that was a great, great fight. And that's the reason they took it. Vision is everything, guys, and one of these wards basically saw them in the trees, and that's all she wrote. They look to be going in on Tidehunter, and he barely makes it out, and they're going to sacrifice their tier 2 tower up here for making that move. They're going to be posturing on their own tier 2 tower over here. They might... Yeah, they're probably going to get it. So, trading tier 2 towers at this point and making this swift retreat. Attacker is staying a little bit longer, but he's gonna make it out eventually, and he's going straight back down to farm. He's 6-1-2 with 143 last hits, so he's setting international. Like, he's playing at an international level, and that's a level of player he is at the end of the day. Sure, many of the teams today would like to take Attacker as a stand-in. Armada. He's not gonna let me down with his Death Ward. He's gonna come through. And Attacker picks up the Arcane Rune. Not exactly great on a Phantom Lancer, but not too bad. And they seem to be moving in on Hamada, and Hamada goes down again. They're picking on this Witch Doctor. They know he doesn't have any escape method. And right now the game has definitely turned in the favor of the Bomb Squad, and the graphs reflect it. I mean, look at that spike. That comes purely down to actually Attacker's move there to make something out of what looked to be a lost fight. And Tidehunter still has a Ravage up that he hasn't used. And I'd be surprised if he saves that any longer. I mean, that's a skill you don't necessarily want on cooldown, but you wanna make the most out of it while it's up. And he did save it in the last fight. A smoke here by K4, and this could be trouble. But I'm not sure for which side. Coming down here, and they know the smoke was there. It was picked up by the ward. So they're just waiting by their tower, expecting it. They deny the tower, and this could have been a mistake. And Void comes in, and here's the chrono. He catches a 2-man chrono. Centaur has to let this go. Boost of travel. Phantom Lancer coming in, but he comes in straight to the disruption. He is fighting back here, and he is fighting against the Void. But Death Prophet's Exorcism is going to do so much damage here. Phantom Lancer looks to make it out. The Tidehunter is still thinking about the Ravage. He's waiting until the rage wears off, and then he's going to pop it. He chooses some restraint, but he still could go down here. And he looks to be going down. And Death Prophet's even going for more. And there's the Soul Siphon, and she's gonna get liched too. Really big fight for K4. I mean, I don't know. I would panic and just pop the Ravage right after the rage wore off, to be honest. But I'm not a professional Dota player, so. And Hamada is gonna go down here to Phantom Lancer again, and he's probably gonna make it out. 3 TPs coming in, and Disruptor's at the front of them. He knows Phantom Lancer just uses his skill, but doesn't even bother making a move on him.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And that is a Manta style, along with the Diffusal on attackers. They are pressuring him here, but I don't think they can get this kill. He's still not too tanky, with only a Manta style adding to survivability, as well as the poor man's shield. But that won't last. I mean, his farm is gonna keep accelerating and accelerating. He's gonna pop up with a Scadi at one point. Be surprised, or a Heart. And they look to be pushing on the tower here, and Lance comes in on Death Prophet. Herself has decent farm, and Centaur comes in with the stun, and he's gonna take out Disruptor here. Disruptor panics and throws out the disruption, and he's gonna go down to the Lich's right click, and there's the Ravage they've been waiting for, and the Lich ulti, and they're gonna get a team wipe here. Well, that's how stupid I am, basically saying I'd have used the Ravage. That's what they were saving the Ravage for. Huge fight for the bomb squad, and to be honest, for a short term, he did go down there, but for a short term replacement, Attacker seems like he's been playing with these guys for a very long time, and I have to give special credit to Samaka on his Tidehunter, who saved that Ravage for so long, and it more than paid off in the end. Really well played. That was a Ravage worth 5 kills. As opposed to earlier where he could have gotten a kill, maybe 2 out of it, max. And there's a disconnect there on the Death Prophet and another pause. So pretty exciting stuff. Yeah, the graph keeps going in Bomb Squad's favor after that. Had a little dip right there, right before the Ravage was used, but everything changed. And looking at the items, actually only 1 Blink Dagger in the game so far on the Centaur. Pretty surprising. I mean, a lot of these heroes do eventually want to go for a Blink. But for now, it's just the Centaur with the sharp initiations. And Death Prophet is back in the game, and we are back. Hamada will be frustrated. It seems like he's almost been picked on this game with 8 deaths. But it's okay. Not a very demanding hero when it comes to farm. He just needs to eventually work his way to that Aghanims, and he's good.
They'll never see this coming.
And right now the supports are No, not that poor at this stage of the game. Considering, I mean, the Tide Hunter's not far ahead of them. But that attacker farm's out of control. And even with that death, he's 11, 2, and 5 with 200 like last hits right now. Pretty impressive stuff. They look to be making a move here with the smoke, and they have the Lifestealer bomb inside Void. Attacker isn't there, and the chrono is wasted, and Attacker knew it was coming. Oh my god. Jedi mind tricks, guys. That was... I mean, that hurts. Exorcism was popped too. This is a disaster. I mean, that hurts. K4 have to play defensive until some of their cooldowns are up. I mean, and Attacker is just harassing them now. He knows he has the advantage, and Centaur uses his ulti, and they're all moving in here. They smell blood. They get the Lifestealer. Lifestealer looks to be going down here. And Lich's ulti comes in and it's doing heavy damage. They have to have a better spread. Void breaks it. Hamada's gonna be the sacrificial lamb here. He takes one for the team. The rest seem to get out okay. And they won't mind that. They'll be fine with that. That's a loss they can afford to. I'm pretty sure Hamada won't be too happy, but Hamada buys back because they're not gonna let them take these racks for free. And Death Prophet should be enough to at least delay this push. Ravage is up if needed, and be sure it will be needed. Whereas Chrono is down for another 30 seconds, Disruption another 5, and Exorcism another 60. So this could be an interesting engagement. Attacker is a brilliant siege engine with no risk using his illusions. Manta style illusions do get caught. And they retreat. They take Hamada's buyback. They're happy with that.
Dire's bottom tower is under
And they go back. Pretty cool Dazzle set.
Arms for the dead.
And they still have that Ravage, which Namaka just very patient with. It's so easy with Ravage to jump the gun and get too excited and just pop a Ravage the second you see two heroes, but he showed a lot of restraint, and he should be commended for that. So another smoke here. There.
Double damage.
High ground ward, but I mean, I don't think I'd be surprised if Attacker does let this happen. He has a double damage and he is farming in their own forest, but it doesn't seem like they have any idea this is happening. They could switch down to the Centaur, and Void comes in and he just misses his time. Yeah, he just misses his time dilation, and we resume the farming. I mean, the lead is increasing more and more for Attacker here, and that's probably the Skadi I was talking about earlier that he's going for. Lifestealer is gonna struggle to compete at this point, but I mean, the game we were just casting, there was a bigger lead than this inside like 20 minutes, so they should be okay with this. They still have the team fight, but they just can't waste their abilities like they did on Attacker Illusions. That really hurts. Lich is probably gonna go down here, yeah, easily. They let Lifestealer get the final hit. He'll take that. Lich had no reason to be there, and that's already a Skadi on this fat Phantom Lancer. I mean, he's too fat at this point. So how do they contest him? You see the Lifestealer actually going for a Maelstrom, hoping for some AoE damage and some procs to help deal with these illusions, but that's definitely not gonna be enough. At this point, they need lockdown for this Phantom Lancer. They need to kill him before he creates his army of illusions. they're countering each other on. Or not really. This ward is being countered if they ever get vision. And yeah, a lull in the proceedings right now. Just everyone trying to get a little bit of farm. Some of these guys do have high amount of current gold on them, namely Death Prophet, with a lot of gold on her. So let's see where she goes with that. And they are making a move on Roche. And I think K4 have some idea this is happening, but I wonder if they even want to contest. Death Prophet's way out of position, and even if they did contest at this point, they're going to be too late. So they're just going to choose to accept the high ground defense and playing defensively and hoping that Bomb Squad make a mistake here. An attacker, I mean, this guy was hard to kill before, but now he's basically unkillable. Big scary stuff. How are K4 gonna deal with this?
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Amada has that renowned high ground defense, so not out of the question. Not impossible. Especially if an Aghanim pops up on that Witch Doctor, but I mean, that could be a long while. It will be a long while. And there's the Blink Dagger on Tide, and I don't think he's gonna be saving his Ravages for too long anymore. He has his initiating item, and I think him and Centaur are gonna run amok right now with a Shiva's Guard. I mean, this is gonna be so hard to defend. Lifestealer has to be pretty quick on his rage here. Does back off. So much armor alongside the ice armor and the Shiva's Guard on this guy that he's not really afraid of physical damage, and basically all the damage K4 has is physical. He does use his Stampede to get away, which was a little surprising. An attacker moves in now. They start using him as a siege engine. And the stun misses from Salmano. And they know the Ravage is there. I'm not sure they know about the Blink, but they know the Ravage is there. And they know about the Blink now. And Tidehunter's running in and he connects with a 4-man Ravage. One goes down solo, but no one's following up on this. And Death Prophet, and there comes the Chronosphere. An attacker could be in trouble here. First Samaka goes down. Attacker is in trouble here. Orpheus is going to push him out. He's going in on the Centaur now. Attacker has to retreat here. And he does. Centaur barely... Oh no, I mean, he pushes up and he can't make it out of there. And they have to pull back here. I mean, again, that was really good counter initiation by the Faceless Void. I have to say he's been landing some nice chronos this game. Aside from that chrono he did on the illusions. I know. Otherwise, that was a really good counter initiation. I mean, that was a 4-man Ravage. Disruptor died before the fight even started. So, pretty good stuff. Pretty exciting stuff. And that should have been a slight dip. And if you even call that a dip. In terms of K4. But they'll take it at this point. I mean, it's a high ground defense. And the Aegis timer is ticking down. And yeah, another lull in the proceedings where everyone just chooses to farm a little bit. But if you realize, it's at this point K4 have been pigeonholed into always playing defensive. I mean, this is what happens when you give away an Aegis, and it's attacker refarming. Attacker is gonna run into Lifestealer here. Lifestealer chooses to go back. So yeah. Now, attacker basically solo pushing the top lane. And harassing Hamada. Hamada really can't stand this Phantom Lancer right now. He's been picking on him all game, and attacker might go down here. Disruptor catches him with the static field, but they don't seem to be pushing in because their bottom is being ravaged by, use the pun, by the Centaur. And Centaur looks to make it out. He has cover with him. He should be fine.
Dire's top tower has fallen. Dire's structures are fortified.
And attacker is moving in here, and attacker will go down. He's caught by the disruption. And there goes his Aegis. I doubt they can kill him for a second time. They use the Chrono with the Exorcism, but their bottom... Lifestealer seems to be holding his bottom, and attacker does go down, but he takes Hamada out before he does. And Lifestealer looks to be holding the bottom all on his own. He's gonna be getting some help right now. One Rax does go down. Tidehunter does look to make it out. And so does Centaur. Yeah, it's a clean breakaway. So they do lose attacker, but they get a Rax for it. And he gets Hamada. And Janoon is gonna make it out too. Janoon's gonna make it out too. So I'd say, even though they lose attacker with all that net worth of his, I'd say it was not too bad for K4. Sorry, for the bomb squad, because they got a Rax and they took down Hamada. Well, attacker did. Attacker's been picking on Hamada all game. To the point where Hamada just puts the Aghanims on hold and he for a utility item like the Glimmer Cape. 2 Glimmers right now on K4. I mean, they expended so much to kill that attacker that they couldn't really punish the rest of Bomb Squad on the bottom. They spent the Chronosphere, they spent the Disruption, they spent the Exorcism. There's still a Ravage here on this Tide. He's probably gonna wait until he gets level 16 before the next initiation.
Regeneration.
And a push being repelled on bottom by the Lich. Has his own Glimmer Cape, and I'm sure I didn't manage to cast the draft of this game, but I do like the high level of armor they have with the Lich's ice armor, the Dazzle's weave alongside something like a Shiva's guard, maybe an Assault Curious eventually. I like that against a physical damage lineup. And they look to be making a move on attacker, and they do catch him here. Attacker could be in trouble. He's a little bit out of position. He doesn't want to use his doppelganger until Glimpse is used on him. But Glimpse is used after the Chrono. And the 5-man Ravage, and they look to be going down here. This is like typical of how the game's been going. Attacker has been baiting, and Disruptor is trying to make it out. Attacker has been baiting, and then they're being punished by the rest of the team. That is a 5-man wipe, and Death Prophet alone, even with their Exorcism, cannot defend this. And they stun her, and they're gonna take her out real fast, and that's a GG call by the Lifestealer. Well, that escalated quickly, in the wise words of Ron Burgundy. Guys, hope you enjoyed the match. I definitely did. We will join you soon with our next game between Elab and SGH_HOA. Elab, our previous tournament champions, the current tournament favorites. We will see you soon after a word from our sponsors.